if you haven't already, there is, if you go to the forum, the poetrycove.com/forum, and scroll down a bit to PoCoChapMo 24, there's a sub-thread in there for introductions and mission statements. Don't worry about doing it now. It's not like mandatory, but it is a good way to kind of get to know the poets that we're going to be spending the next month with and writing poetry with. So if you haven't done that already, don't forget to do that at some point. But don't worry about doing it right now. I missed the housekeeping. No, it's all good. It's all good. We haven't started just yet. I think we've probably got another 2 or 3 minutes off the top of my head. 1 minute. Oh, we've only got 1 minute. Okay, thank you, Naina. So, yeah, we're going to do all the housekeeping in a moment. Pretty much, the whole sort of idea around tonight, this evening, it's probably only going to be about an hour. I think we'll try and, thank you, Naina. We're probably going to try and wrap up around 8:30. I'm not sure what Herb thinks about that, but maybe around that time. If at any point you get bored or you have to step out and you don't want to listen to me anymore, which is totally understandable, there is a thread, a sub-thread in the PoCoChapMo forum that could be done in 10 minutes. Who knows? Yeah, that explains everything anyway. But sometimes it's nice to just listen and yeah, be part of a meeting, I guess. So I think we might as well get started now. Let me just make sure there's no one in the waiting room. No, I think we're good. I think we're good. So let's get started. So first things first, hello, welcome to PoCoChapMo Induction. The first thing I want to ask, I know you've probably all put this in your mission statement and introduction, but I just want to get a nice idea in the chat right now. Have you ever written a chapbook before? Let me know in the chat if you've never written a chapbook before. Or if you have, why not? I've got my little whiteboard here, and the first thing is ask who's never written a chapbook before, and then under it, ask who has. So just let me know if you've written a chapbook before. Okay, so Natalie's written one and it's on Amazon. Nice. None thus far, but I have started a tracking. I'm not sure what a chapbook is. Okay, it's going so quick, I can't keep up. But it seems like there's a very good mix here. So there's people who have, and they're selling it on Amazon, which is awesome. And there's people who haven't written a chapbook. Now, I know that Herb is probably going to say this, or maybe I'm going to say this, but the whole idea of it behind the Poetry Cove is that we're a community and we kind of work together. So those who have written a chapbook before, if there's anyone that maybe is asking questions or is struggling, myself and Herb are going to be answering questions all the time as well. But if there's anything that you feel you might be able to offer as well, please do, because I know that there's some people here that has never written poetry before and is just going straight in, jumping in at the deep end, as my famous saying goes, just jump in at the deep end. And there are definitely people doing that during PoCoChapMo. So let's make sure we're looking out for each other, because that's the whole point of the Poetry Cove. Again, me and Herb are going to be on hand throughout the month, but it's a community effort, it's a group effort. So we're all in this together. So who am I? I think most people here, I haven't seen any names that I don't know. So I think a lot of you probably know who I am, but just in case you're watching this on YouTube, because we are recording this and I will put this on YouTube for those who couldn't make tonight. There was a few people that asked, who am I? I'm Adam Gary. I hate talking about myself, so this is going to be quick. I have a YouTube channel. Through that YouTube channel, I realized that there was a lot of people that really wanted to get into poetry, but didn't know where to start, which is exactly my story. That's my story. I got into poetry, loved it, but didn't know what to do with it. So I kind of created the Poetry Cove, and the mission is to have the most extensive poetry community globally. At one point we had a 24-hour radio station. Unfortunately, finances and stuff. We don't have that anymore, but that's definitely something I want to get back to. We have the forum and lots going on, but we're only going to focus on the forum because that's where PoCoChapMo takes place. I've also answered what the Poetry Cove is, so we can tick that one off too. So let's talk about the website, how to use the website, because I know when you first sign up, unfortunately, the hosts we use can be quite frustrating, and the website experiences bugs quite often, unfortunately. If that ever happens to you, please do reach out. I know some of you already have, and some of you do, but if you ever come across a technical difficulty, there is a members chat. If you're on the computer, it's at the bottom right of the screen. Click members chat, find my name and just message me, or a lot of you follow me on Instagram, so message me there, that's fine. But the forum can be quite daunting when you're first coming to it. But thankfully, you don't need to worry about the majority of the forum. When you go to the link that Naino put in the chat box, poetrycove.com/forum, just scroll down, click on PoCoChapMo, and you'll see separate threads. Most of you have already been in the introduction and mission statement thread, which I've already spoken about. If you haven't done that, please do that at the end of the meeting, but it's not mandatory. It's just nice to get to know you guys. At the top is a pinned thread that will basically explain everything that PoCoChapMo is or aims to be, which we're going to talk about tonight anyway. Then you've got prompts and resources. There are already some links to some useful resources. That will also be where the daily prompts go. So myself and Herb will be putting prompts every single day. They're going to vary from word prompts to inspire you. Sometimes they're going to be images, and sometimes I'm going to throw a form at you, which was a suggestion by Mark. So some days I'll even say, right, go and write a haiku or something. If at any point you're like, I don't like these prompts, that's okay. You don't have to use them, but they're there to help encourage you and hopefully stir something in you. But if not, don't worry about it. Just do whatever you want to do. And again, you've all set your own personal goals. So some days you might not even pay attention to the prompts, and that's okay. So that's the prompts and resources thread. You've then got a feedback corner. Now, if you're leaving your poems in the feedback corner, those of you who are leaving feedback, be nice about it. Be constructive. Don't just be an arse. Can I say that? I don't know. Should I say that? I've said it. It doesn't matter. Just be nice about it. I know a lot of people here are actual members of the Cove and are aware of our feedback thread in the membership area. So I know you guys have got that covered. But for those who haven't done that before, if you're going to leave feedback, just make sure it's constructive and it's helpful and it's encouraging. Let's not shoot each other down. Again, the Cove is a community space. We're not here to destroy each other. Finally, the last thread is finished poems. So any poems that go in here, I am going to take as submissions, unless you, how shall I do this? I should have thought of this before. Unless you state otherwise, that you don't want it to be considered for the official Cove chapbook, because we're going to put an official Cove chapbook at the end of the month as well together. If you don't want that considered, please put it at the bottom of your poem and I won't consider it as a submission to our chapbook. Otherwise, if people are posting poems in the finished poems thread, please don't, that's a good method, yeah. Please don't, what was I saying? Is gone. The chain of thought is gone. What was I saying? Please don't, yes, if a poem is posted in the finished poem thread, please don't leave feedback. Please don't leave unsolicited feedback, because some people aren't looking for that and it can be off-putting. So leave that up to me in terms of deciding what goes into the chapbook and what doesn't. Other than that, I think that's it. So as I said before, this is Herb's brainchild. Herb sort of developed this and came to me with this. So please, and already it's brought so many poets together. So I'm really, really thankful that Herb was like, hey, Adam, I think we should do this. So please make sure, if not now, at some point, if you haven't already, please reach out to Herb and say thank you for putting this all together, because it's a great thing. I'm going to make Herb the host now and hand over to him. Then I'll take my camera off and jump into the comment section and answer any questions as we go along. So thank you so much for being here. Reach out to me if you need to, reach out to Herb if you need to. Other than that, have a great month. We're all in this together. It's going to be amazing. And hopefully we all walk away with a chapbook by September 30th. So I'm going to hand over to Herb now. I'm going to quickly make him host. And then I'm going to dip out. Well, I'm not going to dip out. I'm just going to mute. So.
Unmute. You hear me? Perfect. Perfect. Well, thank you, Adam, for hosting the PoCoChapMo 24. I'm looking forward to us having an exciting week. I'm going to put this up there first. I live next to the railway tracks, so you might hear the occasional train going by, like now. No? Okay, great. Great. Anyway, welcome to PoCoChapMo. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And I'll say this right up front, there's no pressure here at all. This is a you know, go at your pace, go you know, let the muse follow you or lead you to great things for the month. I did have a presentation. I don't know if you want to see it, but if we're not following the presentation, I will say that I hope I don't drone on too much, right? If I ever do and you start to fall asleep or something, you know, send an electric shock through the screen and, you know, nah, never mind, don't do that. But let me see. Summary, share screen, look at that. And that one. Okay, we covered that. Okay, first I just want to talk a little bit about what's a chapbook, and I know that's a question some of you had to look up in the you know, in the online dictionary to find out what a chapbook is. Roughly speaking, it's just a small collection of poems. I mean, the number of poems is so arbitrary. Like, what's a big book? What's a little book of poetry, right? A lot of people will tell you, hey, 50 poems or more is a collection, right? Anything less than that, we're going to put it in the chapbook type of category. I just to show you a couple of chapbooks, okay? Let's start with, okay. Now this here, Deep Forest, and I know you're thinking of, you know, what theme am I going to use? Well, when I started putting this together, and I was in a forest mood at the time, so not that every poem in here has something to do with a tree or forest, but you know, pretty much all the pages have some kind of tree picture in them, and so that was the only theme I had here. It was just trees. And I honestly did that to test Amazon's print quality for color. You know, I wanted to know, is it going to bleed through the other page or whatever? And actually, I'm quite impressed with the way they printed it. So that was good. So a couple of months ago, I you know, put something out here, it's spring flowers. And this is all about spring flowers. It's just, you know, a collection of maybe 20 poems, 25 poems that all have some garden flower theme to it. Right, and as I mentioned in the forum, I mean, it doesn't have to follow any particular theme. You know, when somebody's reading the book and you have a theme, it's a lot easier for them find their way through the path that you're creating for them. But honestly, it could be these are 15 poems I wrote in September with PoCoChapMo, and that's a theme, right? Whatever your thoughts were in September, that's a theme, right? So it could be anything. I just want to show you a couple of more. This is actually a story in poem, and I don't know, good or bad, but I put this horrendous font in there, right? That's I have no idea what font it is, but it's kind of, I said, hey, this is a poem about Blackbeard's quest. He comes back from the dead, and so I thought I'd pick a an English looking theme for it. And here now those were all produced with Amazon, and Amazon makes it quite easy to assemble them and get them published. But I think they have a minimum of 24 pages. And we'll get into it later, probably the end of the month, we'll talk about actually putting your chapbook together. Free tools. I think we're going to use Canva. I've used PowerPoint for, many years. So, I tend to do my stuff in PowerPoint. I guess I'm setting up this, these are Facebook posts. So I thought I had another phone. Anyway, but there's another chapbook that's going on there that's Spring Verses, it's called. And it started out with 80 poems. And I looked at it and I said, oh my God, I do not want to revise 80 poems, right? And I said, what can I do with it? And I said, well, let me get it down to about 30 poems. So I actually got it down, I think it's 28, and I realized something. There's a romantic story in those poems, right? So I thought, oh, that's a kind of serendipity. It just found itself, the theme there. I don't know if you've seen this one. Fungal Matter. This is by Adam Gary, and he this is a these are very special. This type that are done by hand, right? And I mean, he did some little some neat little touches in there, like he put his own seal in there. Right, he put some of his art in here, right? And these are all components of what could be chapbooks. I'll just show you one more that I was putting together, and so now it has a tea stain on it. So if I happen to sell that to somebody, they're getting an authentic tea stain on their copy. So and these are all examples of what you can do with chapbooks. Now, you are not going to make a ton of money off a chapbook, and so they're not necessarily polished poems in here either. I mean, it doesn't have to be. This is actually, the more raw you can make your chapbook, the more appealing it's going to be to people. And yeah, I note there, it's a personal creative project that captures a specific idea or feeling. That's really the ideal thing for it. Now, at the end of the month, we'll talk about this more, the purpose of a chapbook, and it's going to be so chapbooks are something that they're small enough you can carry with you, and you meet somebody and you can give them a copy, and it's a sample of you and your work. If you will, it's kind of we can look at it as it being your currency, right? Your words are your currency. This is you. Your words are your currency, and it how do you spend that currency? And you know, I just put a list here. It's just a creative expression. It's something I wanted to do. You know, I just wanted to test the process. You may have friends and family, and you might write, say you in the month, you might write a series of poems about your family or about where you grew up, your neighborhood when you were, you know, a child, and so you say, hey, you know, I'm going to put that together, and I can give this to my friends or my family, and say, you know, this is, you know, kind of what I do. Um, if you go to any shows or you know, book shows or farmers markets or artisan fairs, um, you can promote your art, your craft there, especially if you happen to be excuse me, if you're doing a poetry reading yourself. And if you're at a market, I mean, you can stand up behind your table, and you know, you might get 5 or 6 people, and you just kind of bellow out your poem, you know, knock their ears off. And you know, it's just it can be a fun thing for some people. It's a damn intimidating feeling if you're you know, if you're an introvert like me. You know, getting up and talking in front of people, that's not easy. And sometimes it takes a couple of shots of whiskey to get it done. Um, and then, you know, there are publishers out there who accept chapbooks for contests, right? And I'm kind of hoping that, you know, at the end of the month we're going to go over some of these publishers, and maybe, you know, it'll spark our interest, and we'll just inundate them with our PoCoChapMo publications. Again, we'll get this in the end of the month. It's, you know, write your poems, select them, you know, maybe do some editing, revising, you know, put them in whatever order you want to put them in, you know, throw them up in the air and they fall on the floor, and pick them up, and that's it. I don't know, you know. And like I said, we'll go over that at the end of the month of you know, front pages, back pages, and some of that tedious stuff that you want to be aware of. And trust me, it'll be fun. I'll make lots of mistakes when I do that presentation, so perfect. Anybody have any questions on, you know, what about the chapbook itself?
Sorry to interrupt. Just to let you know, Herb, I am answering questions as we go along, so feel free
Oh,
to carry on.
you're the man. All right. Okay, I'll forget. You take care of that. No more questions. Yeah, okay.
You're
If
good.
it,
You're good.
but if anybody comes up with anything that, you know, you want to break in here, it's fine. I'm good. Okay, the prompts, daily, we're going to do prompts daily, and I think daily in our terminology is going to be Monday to Friday. Generally speaking, Adam is going to do some really spectacular prompts on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Monday and Thursdays.
Monday and Thursday. You know what? See, I was close, you know.
Close.
Yeah. So, and I'll be posting something for the other days. Sometimes it'll be in a little story, and sometimes it'll just be an image, perhaps with a few, you know, where it came from. And you know, sometimes maybe, but I wouldn't count on it. It might be a little video. But the prompts, we're just putting out there to inspire you, right? You can you know, find the inspiration that really suits your style of poetry. Yeah, you know, find your muse, and hopefully, you know, we all have that spark that, you know, drives us to write some really passionate things, and that's what we're looking for. So if you I mean, there's nothing stopping you from you know, sharing a prompt that really struck a nerve with you. Like we love to see stuff like that where people are hey, I saw this and I wrote this. It could be uh, I was at a market, a mall, and I saw somebody coming out of a store, and the guy hands them an envelope. They open the envelope and they nod it and went back in the store. All right, you got to know what the heck was going on. Like, I think I wrote something about that, but and do it. Feel free. Run free. The prompts. The prompts. Why did I talk about the prompts? Now, this is something we hope to do, and with the poet's consent, we would like people to post every day. It would be marvelous if you posted every day. You don't have to post every day, but really nice to see you in there. And with your permission, with your consent, we'd like to take that and make it what we call the poem of the day. And we may not have one every day, but we'd like to. And it's just a recognition of the effort that people are putting in, And if all goes well and we're all happy at the end of the month, like Adam said, we'd like to put together the Poetry Cove anthology, and this might turn out to be a poetry collection, as in we're going to get 50, or it could be just another chapbook that we're going to put together, and yeah, I don't know if Adam saw this one or not, but compiled by Adam Gary, the Surrey Poet Laureate and the editor of the Poetry Cove magazine. And I said, hey, that'd be kind of a neat thing to be included in an anthology with somebody of Adam's abilities. Like it's just I think it was really I love it personally. I don't know how you feel about it. And we'll publish it in electronic and print format, and possibly in the Cove magazine. And I'm really excited to see people with their poems out there, and that we can at the end of the month we can celebrate. How it works on the Cove, I think Adam went over that. I think with the Cove, with the whole philosophy of the Cove, the community involvement is very important. We'd like to see people, interacting out there and supporting each other and saying, hey, that's great, I really love it. And maybe in the feedback section you'd say, maybe just change this word here to this word, and it's perfect. Now through the I mentioned live sessions here, and this I can't guarantee this is going to happen, because I know it's going to be a busy week for me, but I know Sundays, first Sunday of the month, Adam has a poetry write-in, or not a write-in, but a group poetry creation, and honest to God, those things are precious. I think they're awesome, and I think Adam should take those and publish them in a chapbook. Yeah, they might be plus 18 though, but I don't know. Now the whole idea is just if we can get together on a Zoom once in a while and just to say, hey, how you doing, and like we're still here, we're still surviving, and we're strong, and look what we're and just pump ourselves up to the so we're busting out the rafters. That's the whole thing. And I mean, Adam mentioned the support part. Anytime you have questions, please post them. I think we have some resources out there now, and geez, I don't have a list of them, but it's just general themes or topics. I think we have a resource out there that lists emotions. there's maybe 200 emotions out there that you can, if you're looking for a further piece of inspiration, you can put a prompt together with an emotion, and you go ahead.
I'm just going to just cut in for a second there,
Sure.
Herb. Yeah. So if you guys want to head to the after the meeting, of course, or whenever you need some inspiration, that is already in the resources and prompt section. Herb compiled so many different prompts. I put them as images. He did a really great job. So thanks for that, Herb. Also, Naino is suggesting a 2-week check-in with everyone, so that's something we can work towards as well. Like every 2 weeks. Well, I say every 2 weeks. There's only 4 weeks, but but yeah, maybe a 2-week check-in. But I think that sort of thing we can play by ear. Again, it's the Cove is so community based. So if anyone wants to organize their own little writing session, by all means, please do. But yeah, back to you, Herb.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that, Adam. Now in Adam on his Adam Gary Poetry channel on YouTube, he has a 60-minute or 60 minutes. Wow, that'd be a long time. 60-second how to write haiku, how to write different forms of poetry, and I highly recommend you go out and listen to those, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just little steps to get you started on these other forms of poetry. Oh, I should mention that there's no requirement for a specific form for your chapbook. It could be all free form, yeah, free verse, and that works really well, especially if you're. I run into this problem a lot when I try to rhyme, okay, and I end up sometimes forcing a rhyme and ruining the flow of the line itself, and so I've taken quite a bit to writing free verse or blank verse or prose poetry, and if a rhyme happens in there, perfect. But just trying to get a rhythm in it is all I'm looking for. Some other things towards the end of the month, we'll be talking about chapbook assembly and the publishing assistance. If you want to take that leap and publish it on Amazon, I think we're there to help you do that. And again, encouragement, motivation. I know everybody here can do it. Everybody who's going to be watching the recording can do it. You can do it. Okay. I'll say it. Okay. I'll say it. Okay. In the month of September, I've worked on 85 poems, right? And a lot of, I mean, these are not publishable things. A lot of them might be 10 lines. Some of them are a couple of pages. They're all over the place. They're scribbled in columns. There's, it's just really thoughts that getting down. And I mean, once you get your thoughts down on a piece of paper and you can look at it in the whole of what you've done, and it'll come to you what you want to do with that poem. Moving on, Poetry Cove. I think we already talked about the Poetry Cove. Anyway, that was all of my presentation. I didn't want to make it more than 30 minutes, or you guys are getting early night sleep or late morning sleep. So do you have any other questions? Now I'll look in the chat again. Yeah. Like I said, 85 poems. It's not, I call them poems because they have a name. That's about it. But it's really just, it could be, some people could say, hey, it looks more like journaling, in some cases, that's what it is, so, but they're all, everything you write down is the foundation of a poem. Everything you see outside is a foundation for your poem. If you're watching TV, last night, the night before. Anyway, there was a picture of a guy standing on a bridge or at a boat to cross a bridge. It's misty, foresty across there. The bridge is kind of rickety. And I mentioned to Adam that, you know, I'm changing careers here and in a certain frame of mind. And this person was standing there looking at the change in life. And it inspired me, and I just wrote a little poem for it just to say, you know, here I am standing at the bridge, and really at the end of the poem, you know, I hope, you know, I think the ideal thing is for somebody to look at that poem and say, you know, you took your step across the bridge, so congratulations, and here we are, you know, beginning of September, and PoCoChapMo, and we're standing on the bridge. And all we need to do is take baby steps, baby steps, baby steps to get across that bridge to where the dream is across there. Well,
Perfect. Thank you so much, Herb. Thank you so much for your time and all the effort you've put in already. And I'm sure that you're going to do throughout September. I've just had a thought. I think what I'll do is this evening or tomorrow morning, I'm going to create another subthread. And it's just going to be like support, just for people to just ask questions. If you've got any questions throughout the month, put it in the support subthread, and Herb, myself, and anyone that may find themselves with the answer to the question that's being asked, we can pop it in there. At least then we've got one hub for everyone's questions. We are on the eve. We are on the eve of PoCoChapMo. Again, we're all in this together. We're all supporting each other. We'll figure out the 2-week check-in, and again, guys, if you want any kind of, if you want to arrange anything yourselves as well, like your own Zoom meeting, your own writing session, anything like that, we're an open book here. So right about, invite some people. Again, we're all in this together. So I'm going to say goodnight now. This is going to get uploaded probably tomorrow. I was in this meeting half an hour before we even started, and it recorded from the beginning. So I'm going to have to cut all of that out before we upload it. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, guys. I hope you're as excited as we are to get going. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you so much, guys. I'm going to end the meeting now.
I'm just going to say one more thing here before we go.
Please. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Adam, for taking the time. I know you're a busy guy, man. So I really appreciate taking the time to sit in here with us. And for everybody here, just take, if you're on Instagram, take Adam's post about PoCoChapMo. He posted a couple of days ago, and please share that. And you know, we really like to have your friends and connections to see that and join us as well.
Absolutely. And there's no sort of, there's no sign up deadline. So if you get talking to a fellow poet a week from now, they're more than welcome to jump in a week in, 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in. You know, it's totally up to them. So there's no deadline. It's not so rigid like that. So yeah, thanks, Herb. That's a good point. Please spread the message, because the more poets, the merrier. I think that's everything. Is it, Herb?
That's good for me. Yeah.
Great stuff. All right, then, guys. All right, Covers and poets. I will see you tomorrow for the first prompt. Oh no,
my God.
Wait, yeah, I'll put a prompt in there. Why not? I'll put a prompt in there for the first day, Sunday. Yeah, why not? Okay. So I'll put a prompt in tomorrow.
Okay, great.
And I'll start that support thread as well. So great stuff. Thanks. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Enjoy PoCoChapMo, and I'll see you on the battlefield, I guess.
Right. Cheers.
See you later, guys.